All right, so Charlie Kirk Chief of Staff Mikey McCoy is about to have a very bad day after video has surfaced of his behavior in the immediate aftermath of Charlie being shot. It is suspicious, to say the least. And what makes matters even worse for him is the fact that his father and Charlie Kirk's pastor, or so they say, Rob McCoy, blatantly lying about Mikey and what he did right after Charlie was shot. I'm actually upset with myself because last week I covered Pastor Rob McCoy's speech where he referred to any questioning of Israel as just crazy conspiracy and anti-Semitic. And the covering for his son, which he blatantly says here, I'm covering for my son, took place right before his Israel comments. Let's get into it. I'm Zach Costello. So I was critical of Ian Carroll last week and his breakdown of the no blood argument, which has been pretty clearly disproven. Ian Carroll did a great breakdown, though, this past weekend of the Mikey McCoy situation, which has blown up. You can see here, Candace Owens is returning today for the Charlie Kirk coverage, and she is going to build upon this. But here is what we know, and it's the lies that make this suspicious. We know that Mikey McCoy was with Charlie the entire day leading up to the event. They rode in together. They walked into the event together. You can see that right here. Mikey was right behind Charlie when he was throwing out the hats. This is actually Mikey's footage from his phone right here behind Charlie. And you can see that. You can see him following him here. Now, here is where Mikey is standing right after Charlie sits down to begin his debates. And as Charlie was shot, watch what happens. Before Charlie even hits the ground, Mikey is on his phone, which I'm going to zoom in on that here in a second. And then you can see him walking out on his phone behind the tent. Charlie is getting loaded into the van, and Mikey is seen over here, back turned on the phone. This is weird, right? But even weirder is this. Zooming in closer, Mikey's reaction right when Charlie was shot. Look. He pulls his phone out to his ear without even pressing any buttons. Watch closely. Arms folded, phone right to his ear, walking out on the phone. Look, I'm not a fan of the accusations that someone is guilty because of how they should have reacted or how they should be grieving about losing a loved one. Like the argument that Erica is guilty because she's not bedridden grieving. Like, how could you make a public appearance after your husband was just killed? Like, I don't think that's a good argument. I also don't think it's a good argument that Tyler Robinson couldn't have shot Charlie Kirk because he ate at Dairy Queen 6 hours after he allegedly shot him, or because he filled up his gas tank the next morning. I don't think that those are good arguments. Like, if he really did hate Charlie Kirk, if Tyler Robinson really did hate Charlie Kirk, I'm pretty sure that he'd probably be fine eating a meal or like doing something as mundane and as routine as filling up his gas tank in the morning. However, this is weird. Mikey McCoy, right next to Charlie, barely a flinch, and one of his supposed best friends is shot. And he seems prepared to get on the phone, and he doesn't even hang in there. Like, if this was someone close to you, I feel like a normal person would have been probably like tried to get in there and then moved aside by the security guards, like get out of the way. Like I remember Jacqueline Kennedy, she almost jumped out of the car going 60 miles an hour, however fast they were going, to get her husband's skull that had just been blown off. Like, wouldn't you, if this was somebody really close to you, wouldn't you be in there? Like, you'd be in there. Get out of the way is what the security guards would be telling me. To make matters even worse, though, his father and Charlie Kirk's pastor, Rob McCoy, is covering for him. And he admits as much right here, blatantly lying about what Mikey McCoy did in these moments. Listen to this.
All while social media has venomous statements about Charlie, all lies. And all while they're still getting death threats. But they have a plan. But as I was thinking about this, I stepped in it because as a father, I want to protect my son. And I thought, I got a plan for you, son. He said, Dad, that's not Charlie's plan. And you know what? I'm looking at my son who's 24 years old. Justin's the CFO, chief financial officer, and Mikey's the chief of staff. And I'm watching, the minute Charlie was shot, he called me, says, Dad, Charlie's been shot in the neck. Please call every pastor and pray. I said, okay, son. He has wits about him. He was just directing. He had blood all over him.
Well, we know that Mikey McCoy wasn't directing anyone here in the immediate aftermath of Charlie Kirk getting shot. He walked away before Charlie's body even hit the ground. Not one person was directed by Mikey McCoy in these moments. Finally, Mikey McCoy was not covered in blood. He had a clean white shirt. The only people with blood on them were the ones who immediately rushed to Charlie. Mikey fled the scene and apparently couldn't even look. And you know what? Maybe the not being able to look is the shock reaction he might have had. And I can get on board with that. But arms crossed, right to the phone after pressing no buttons, suspicious. And I want to be clear. Am I accusing him? Is he guilty because of this? No. But this is suspicious, and we need answers. Who he was talking to, when the call was made. Was there an active phone call going on while this was happening? And again, with who? I mean, the only way you can go from crossed arms right to your phone and start talking to someone. We all have iPhones. We all have smartphones. That's not possible unless somebody's already there. It's already active, right? We should know this. Like those records, those phone records, that should be part of it. How did he get the phone to his ear and start talking to someone without dialing? I want to know that. Questioning individuals and entities like foreign governments with motives is not convicting anyone. It's not smearing Charlie's name either. It's not anti-Semitic. What is very alarming is the emotional and moral blackmail taking place for posing these questions. How dare you question anyone like Mikey McCoy, who loved Charlie in the midst of his grieving? Or you must hate the Jews if you think the neocons in the state government of Israel might be a suspect. No. Digging through this and addressing the questions and concerns openly eliminates possible conspiracies and helps us get to the truth. Lies and emotional and moral blackmail, threats to sue and lawfare are what increase suspicion and make things much worse. I'm Zach Costello.